superfluous. So, number 5, drink your way lean. Patrick, how much time do I have left? 30 seconds?
Exactly, no. You are about 20 minutes or so. We
Sweet,
planned for an hour.
Good.
So finish at 1.
Fantastic.
And there's a clock right there.
Okay, good. So drink your way lean. So drink your way lean. So everyone can be calm, all right? So what do you think it is? So drink your way lean. What I mean by drink your way lean is if we can think about what normally derails us. Often it's these sweet foods, these sweet sugary drinks. And if I might say, so an example would be unsweetened iced tea. Unsweetened iced tea, no sugar. I still get my caffeine. So caffeine's gonna be okay. And coffee, no cream or sugar. I say, but Jamie, what's the point of drinking if I can't squeeze some sugar into it? How else will I get the goodness of sugar into me? So if we agree that we don't want something that's high GI, drinks are a great way to get our blood sugar up. If you've ever seen someone, and I'll have people work out, and every now and then someone will come in, usually it's the tough guy from the night before who hasn't eaten any breakfast, and he'll come in and I'll say, have you been working out? Oh yeah, totally. And then about like 10 minutes later, he's sort of doing one of these, looking at his brain, because he hasn't eaten anything, his blood sugar's going through the floor, and he wasn't prepared for the workout. And I hate when that happens. Because I want people to get a workout that's just right for where they're at. And if I think they're prepared differently and they haven't, then sometimes, rarely, bad things happen. But all that we did was sit him down, and I happened to have some Gatorade at the back. Gatorade, super high in sugar. Here's an interesting point. Gatorade, the Gatorade that they test athletes on, is actually a fifth of the dilution of what they sell in the stores. Yeah, so when we drink our Gatorade, we go, yeah, good enough for insert athlete's name here, good enough for me. So when we drink it, and the reason they make it sweeter is because, why? Because we all want more sweeter. What's that word you say?
We wouldn't drink it.
That's right, we wouldn't drink it. We'd be like, needs more sugar. This is who we are. Our taste buds have adjusted to it. If you've ever gone, like, say, a few months without soda, and then had a soda, and you're like, oh, this is like so sweet. And then like a couple more sips, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm used to it again. But if we can think about it in terms of, like, so if I say, but anyway, back to the story. So I gave him some Gatorade, had a sip, about 30 seconds later, like the lights came back on again. He was okay. That's how quickly our blood sugar can jump up. If we drink something that's high in sugar, our body reacts so quickly. However, if his blood sugar is low, and I can give him something sugary to bring him back to neutral, does it not make sense that if our blood sugar is neutral and we choose a sugary drink, it can jump us up that quickly as well? Yes, I love nuts. They make me feel like people either understand or really don't understand.
So those herbal sweeteners, stevia, what's good or bad about those?
Yes. I have to say a personal position I have is that I don't necessarily have a problem with stevia. And in fact, I use it, my wife uses it, I'll use it in dishes where I'm like, man, I'm just going to need stevia if I'm going to be able to eat or drink this. The only thing I'll say against stevia, and there's artificial sweeteners, and I don't want to tear on Splenda. Splenda's an example of an artificial sweetener that, and Splenda narrates it as it's one molecule away from sugar. And I look at it and say, actually, it's also one molecule away from lawn fertilizer. So you get to pick which in the glass is half or half. However, again, it's personal choice. If we have small amounts of anything, is that going to make a difference? No. However, choices over time, will that make a difference? Artificial sweeteners also happen to usually be appetite stimulants. So while we might have less, it will be more in other ways. I do like stevia. What I don't like is that stevia still maintains that palate, that need for sweetness. So if I can try and train the body to not want that sweetness, if I'm constantly going like stevia, and then someone gives me something that's sweet, I'm like, okay, that's the sweetness I'm used to. But if I can use the stevia at a minimum, then when I do eat something, I go like, whoa, that is really sweet. I'm like, I can only eat a little bit of this because my palate adjusts to it. Does that help? Yeah. So I mean, I'm not against stevia, but I am very pro people trying to decrease their sensitivity to sugar, or increase their sensitivity to sugar, so that way sugary taste. So that way, when I do eat something that's sugary, it doesn't have I get more of it before I would not. stevia blend. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with stevia either. But I want you to minimize. Yeah, taper off. Taper off. Does anyone have any more questions? Yes, sir.
How about diet soda?
Diet soda?
Yeah.
If you can find me a diet soda that doesn't have stevia, that doesn't have artificial sweetener in it, that has like say a stevia or something like that, then I'll feel better about it. But the fact that soda in general, I have a client who's a dentist, and she talks about she can tell when her clients drink soda, and I said, what about diet soda because it doesn't have sugar in it? She said it doesn't matter. It's not the sugar, it's not the artificial sugar, it's the bubbles.
Okay.
And if women are worried about their bone density, the bubbles are what sucks the calcium out of their bones. So while we're all concerned about having our calcium, we should be more concerned about weight-bearing loads, weight-bearing exercise. Because if I can find loads that will stimulate my joints to be more dense, or my bones to be more dense, then that's a better stimulus, far better stimulus than taking calcium tablets. So diet soda, I would say, see that thing listed on the wall? Have any of those.
Okay.
But yeah, do your best to avoid diet sodas. I can just tell you that just soda in general is not a good, is not something I would recommend. How about that? But any other things, get into the teas. Get into like if you go to Starbucks, they do a. Does anyone have like the passion fruit tea they do at Starbucks? It's nice, right? I love that. It tastes cool, sweet. It's just passion fruit tea. Water. Put some lemon and lime in there. Squeeze a little bit of lemon and lime in there. Have some fun with it. Dry wines. If we're going to have alcohol, okay, let's have some dry wines. Dry, it means less sugar, which means it's going to have less effect on our blood sugar. If you're going to have wine, have it for dessert. Don't have it before the meal. It will affect the way your body processes the food. It sits in the stomach and it changes things up. So if you've had wine before lunch today, then Alright, number 6, never trust yourself. That's what I mean when I say strategy is not willpower. Because all of us have the best intent. You guys will walk out of here and then all of a sudden at 4 o'clock, 4:30 this afternoon, you'll go, oh, that guy was right. If only I'd done something at 3:30ish. If only I'd made a choice. Maybe you're going to grab some lunch from here. Maybe when you eat your lunch, if you haven't eaten it already, you'll save a little bit. Save a third of it. So that way you can have that. At about 3:30. To keep that blood sugar level. You guys with me? Never trust yourself. So think about it as if you were a small 5-year-old child, okay, what things could you put in place to make sure that you weren't tempted to put your hand in the cookie jar? Sleep is a great one. Sleep is related to cortisol levels. Cortisol is a hormone which stimulates retention of fat around the waist and thighs. Alright? So a stress hormone. Not that any of you are stressed. You're we're all stressed. We're all pushed harder and harder every year. And and especially being where you guys are right now, there's valuable things that you guys are doing. And I totally get that. What I'll say is if you can try to get a good quality night's sleep, and I saw the number of hands that go up and have kids, so I know that's a challenge. But do your very best. When you go to sleep, sleep. Turn off all the lights, make there be no distractions. Read a book before you go to bed. Do your best so that you wake up and go to sleep at the same time every day. Things like that are really going to make a difference to you, and you'll find that you'll be able to make better decisions because you'll have more willpower because your cortisol levels will not be as high. Choose foods with lower emotional triggers. That is a tricky one. If I go out to dinner, my friend says, oh, what should we get for dessert? Yeah, what's your name? Erin. Erin, do you have a favorite dessert?
Yeah.
Cheesecake. Okay, cheesecake. What's your least favorite dessert?
I don't know.
Let's say, what about, do you like peppermint things? Like pepper pie? See, good. Warm up my own heart. See, my mum, when I was 18, when I was, obviously, I don't get to be this tall without, like, consuming large amounts of food. My mother would, when I was 18, she started bringing home peppermint cookies. Like cookies with like peppermint in the middle. And I ate a couple and I was like, ah, it's disgusting. And then like next week, the whole cupboard was full of peppermint cookies. And I was like, what are you doing? And she said, you always eat everything I bring home. I finally got a treat that I can eat. I said, do you like peppermint cookies? And she said, no. At least it means I'll have something to eat when I want to drink. Because I would just go, I wish I could eat the calories. Alright, so choose food with low emotional triggers. So we're a dessert, and I say, hey, look what's on the menu. There's cheesecake or there's peppermint pie. Okay? And then I go, great, give me some peppermint. I go, one plate of peppermint pie, please. Because what's going to happen? One, I won't enjoy it as much. Because if you guys are anything like me, when I do find a dessert I really like, they'll bring a plate, and I'll start talking to a friend, and then I'll look down at the plate and I'll say, there was a piece of food here just a couple minutes ago. Did anyone see where that went? Where did it go? And I was going, no. Chopping away. The point I'm trying to make is that if it's something that we don't really enjoy, it has a low emotional trigger, then we'll maybe not eat all of it. Maybe we'll just eat part of it, but we'll still feel like we had something. We've all been there where we've had that bad dessert, a dessert we didn't really like. Maybe we left sort of like part of it on the plate. But if something we really love, then we've totally snuffed it down. Agree? Yeah? Just like being honest with each other. Choose that food with low emotional trigger. If I'm going to choose a food that I know I want to eat a small amount of, then choose that. When you're at Thanksgiving dinner, when you're at Super Bowl dinner, when you're at Super Bowl having food, pick things that aren't really your favorite. Or if you've filled up already, then walk in, have some of the things that are your favorite, and then have the other things that are not, maybe sort of like middle of the road healthy, but you know that you won't necessarily scarf down. Okay? It's worth a try. It's a strategy. Will it work for you? I can't say. But is it worth trying? Most definitely. And then we can tweak it from there. Plan ahead. Know what you can and can't control. We talked about this. I'm going to a friend's party. If I'm going to a drinking event, or say a wine tasting, I know what's going to happen. But I don't know what food will be there to compensate for the alcohol that I'll drink. So the best part is to just know what you can control. This here is true in many ways. Sometimes we get very frustrated. If I look back at stress, if we look at the things we can and can't control, then it's really important for us to say, okay, what's within my power right now? What's outside my power? Can I control if they, decide to move us to a different building and it's a huge kerfuffle? No, I can't control that. Maybe you can. But look, there are things you can't control. Don't stress about that. Don't stress about, are they going to have cake there, or maybe they won't, maybe they will, oh my God, what am I going to do? Think about what you can do. So, okay, they might, so I'm going to make sure today I buy an extra big salad, have some for lunch, and then eat some right before I get off my desk. I know that I usually work so hard that I'll rush out the door, so I'm going to I'm going to set my alarm so that way it goes off at 3:30, so I know I'll be able to stop and go, okay, let me check how I feel. Okay, I feel good, let's go. Or how do I feel? Man, I'm kind of hungry, and I'm about to do a half-an-hour drive, and I'll be starving by the end of that, and then I'll probably make a bad food choice because my blood sugar will be going through the floor. We all agree? Preemptive strike. 2 ounces glass of water with no ice before every meal. That's a great way to fill ourselves up right there. If we feel full, then it's harder for us to really go out and control. So, no ice. Sorry. If you drink something that has ice, then it basically seals up the stomach. So it interferes with like the warm digestive system that we have in the stomach. So if you ever go for a jog or go exercising, have some cold water, and then you'll feel it just go. Yes, yeah. So, but if you have warm water, the body takes it through and knows exactly what to do. Or warm meaning room temperature. But if you have ice water, then it interferes with the digestive system. So if you have some water beforehand, just ask for a glass of water, no ice. They usually bring that anyway. If you're just asking for it, they'll do a little fancy thing. Don't be afraid to be high maintenance at restaurants. You could look at it as being high maintenance, or you could look at it as I'm giving the waiter an opportunity to earn a tip. Because he's going to love it. He's like, oh great, I can do something that's going to be special for that person. And if we have that mindset, then all of a sudden, we don't feel as bad about it. So I'm going to get to your question in just a second. So if everyone remembers Indiana Jones, say yes, you must choose wisely. Alright, so here we go. So I don't want you to try to take all these 6 things. You're like, I'm going to go for it. I'd much rather you just pick which one feels the easiest. Which one of these feels like the easiest to apply right now? And go with that. Build on success. Don't try all 6 because then you won't get all 6 and then you'll feel like a failure and then you'll go back to being in this downward spiral we talked about. Just pick one. If you can be successful at any one of these, that's going to make a difference in your world. Do we all agree? Yeah. So don't try and be Superman. Just try and be a better version of you. And then once we master this, success will breed success. Okay. So So Bonds Bodies, we're on 18th Broadway, 1800 Glenelg Place. In the basement, it's a little space, just 20 by 80. We're a small group personal training studio. We have classes as early as 5 a.m. until 6:30. If anyone's interested, you can send me an email and I'll gladly give you a 2-week free trial with assessment.